Welcome, Alexis Rondeau here. This is Whiteboard Mastery, and I'm today giving you a little recap on the handwriting workshop that we did on Wednesday, which went, first of all, awesome. I had the most fun. This was the third in-person workshop I gave in Factory in Berlin, and it was a small group, and we um, learned how to write better, write clearly, write boldly. And I wanted to just recap a few things that went really well, and then a few things that went okay, or things that I need to improve on for the next class. So the first thing, first really important thing was I think we all had a lot of fun. Of all the exercises and all the workshops so far, this was the most fun. And I think the main reason was because the progress was visible so quickly. It blew my mind. I still can't get over it. So my students came in. They had their own, normal handwriting style, and I provided them with a worksheet and a few exercises. And in the beginning, the first times they tried to recreate the script that I showed them, and I gave them instruction for, it was okay, but it was clearly, it needed work and it needed practice. And just we did, I think, an hour and a half or something. Through the course of an hour and a half, you could have seen that, visually see their progress, so that at the end of the hour and a half, when we were doing some really fun exercises, we basically, they were able to copy the style and the script that I had provided them. And I'm very impressed by that, because I had much lower expectations, but uh, they they really they really learned a lot. So I also learned a lot. This is another thing that I really enjoyed, while teaching them, while standing on the whiteboard and showing them the strokes, how I'm doing it. I realized that one small detail, how I keep control in pretty much all of my whiteboarding, which is that I have this little bone here. I'm not sure which one it is. This little bone actually almost always touches the whiteboard, um, at least once, a few seconds, and it gives me a sort of an anchor to make very straight and very confident strokes. And we learned that during the class, when I observed the students, sort of, they had this very intense angle. So they were basically just free handing writing, and that's much harder, or even if you're drawing. So this finding applies actually to pretty much all of the exercises. And by having this, making sure this piece of your body touches the whiteboard at least once in a while, your hand becomes steady. That's really the heart of it. You give it control, and that's the first thing we learned. And the second thing was that, um, we handwrite from our wrist most of the time, right? When we write on paper, but the whiteboarding actually happens from your arm, from your lower arm. So because you're writing larger, and that's like a small thing that I always did, that I didn't even realize that we had to train. And once the students became aware of both having a little bit of control, and contact with the board, and using your arm instead of just like your wrist, the whole game changed. It was really impressed. And yeah, so that, among other things, I think they walked out of this specific class with having gotten the most bang for their buck. I think that was, and I'm looking back, I always wanted to start the first workshop. I wanted to start with handwriting, but I didn't. And I think in the future, the first lesson will probably be handwriting, just because you get the most bang for your buck. So super excited. Um, the few things that didn't go so well and that I want to improve on. The first thing was, I think my preparation was okay. I had a nice worksheet, like, a big one, that showed you each character, and it had arrows next to each character, so you could see how you draw it. I only had one of them. Next time, I'm gonna make a lot of copies of those, so that every student has it right in front of them, especially with the arrows showing you how to draw it. So next time around, prepare better worksheets or prepare worksheets to hand out. Second thing is, I actually forgot. I forgot to bring the markers, the chisel tip markers, to class, and so all we had were the round tip markers, which are just not fun to work with. I just personally don't like them, and yeah, so I think the students didn't mind so much, but yeah, next time I have to make sure to remember to take the markers. And then the third thing, I think what I need to practice a little bit more before giving the class is the story of around the ease of cognitive ease and the path of least resistance. So I have a story where I'm saying, why should you learn a new handwriting? Besides maybe you're just curious, why is it an essential leadership and communication skill? And it boils down to that the brain responds better to clear and bold and simple writing than if it's really scraggly and not easy to read. And so if you're writing for an audience or if you're writing with a team, having clear handwriting actually amplifies your message or your ideas. So humans, in short, are really responding to clarity and simplicity when presented with new information or new ideas, and that's what often whiteboarding is, right? Is new ideas. You want to, figure something out. And so I think my story that I told there, not what I said just now, but in general the story, I think it was okay, but it wasn't my best storytelling moment yet to make that connection between, my childhood experience, brain science, and handwriting. Maybe it was a little bit of a leap. Anyways, good to learn and good to know. And I'm pretty sure next week we'll do this class again, just because I want to make sure all my students that couldn't be there last time will have the opportunity to do it again. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did it. So thanks so much for watching. This is more or less me rambling, but we'll continue soon with more instructional videos. So I just wanted to share that. All right. Have a great day. Peace.